Hey, 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 happy Valentine's Day. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. Today is Valentine's Day. That's right, it is Monday, February 14th, 2022. This is live stream 752. It's your first time joining me. Let me point out, very casual around here, just kicking back, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news, and then taking a look at a tabletop game. So tonight, I happen to be unboxing and taking a first look at Origin's First Builders from Board and Dice. And this is kind of a civilization building game, as far as I understand, worker placement. And it's from Board and Dice, so that means it's going to be pretty meaty, because most of their games are medium to heavy euros for the most part. So we're going to dive on into that in just a bit. Of course, we do tackle the tabletop gaming news first. So if you're watching live, kick back. It'll be about 30 minutes or so, and then we will dive into the first look. If you're watching this video after the stream ends, at least, let's say 30 minutes or more after the stream ends, there will be timestamps. You can click on that if you don't want to catch the news. You can jump right on into the unboxing if you'd like to do that as well. Of course, should mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It's not only going to let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my first look at the Gaia Complex. Yes, this will be up in the wee morning hours. Yes, you'll be able to check out this new, well, it's new to me, cyberpunk role-playing game. I kind of take a deep dive in and take a peek. This is from Hansor Publishing, and Chris Shepperson is the author. So, yeah, definitely it's got a unique look to it. It's got some kind of cool stuff going on under the hood as well, from what I could tell. So by all means, keep your eyes peeled for that. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Should also mention each and every day this week, there's a brand new review over at thegaminggang.com. Now, it might be from Kevin or Sammy or Robert or me, but each and every day you are going to have a brand spanking new review to check out over at thegaminggang.com. Also, this is live stream, so that means there's chat available. Not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. And you have to be a subscriber to the channel for at least 48 hours to take part in chat. Yet another way that I try to keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So first out the gate tonight was the Motor City Madman. Yes, the Madman's with us. Clint Gibson is with us as well. Should point out the Madman is one of our chat moderators, so behave. B Cafe's here. Russell Higgins is with us as well, and Flaming Heron is popping on into chat. Flaming Heron's another of our chat moderators as well. I'm going to take a guess, being Valentine's Day, chat's probably going to be a little bit quieter than we are used to seeing. We'll find out. Something I should mention as we jump in, you may notice the audio's a little bit different. I'm always aiming to have more of like a radio sound, like a, radio broadcast sound, which I'm awful at equalizing any of this audio. So you may notice it's a little more bass to it, a little more, well, if you're not familiar with the term, there's some compression going on as well. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm always screwing around. You'll probably also notice, or maybe not, that our focal length is a little different as well. So I was actually, I had to update my firmware on my Panasonic camera. So I thought, let's move things around a little bit. Not much, very little, but you might notice it's a tad bit different, especially if you're looking behind me as well. Madman says that he and the wife, his wife, not like the wife, don't generally celebrate Valentine's Day. They give gifts to each other throughout the year. Yeah, it was funny. When I was in serious relationships, we really didn't go overboard on Valentine's Day either. Because it was kind of the same thing, kind of the same way of, every week there was always something a little special going on. So Valentine's Day to us was just, going to get jam-packed in some restaurant someplace. I'd rather just make a nice dinner, kick back. Yeah. So I see where the madman's coming from. I really can. All right, we're going to jump on into the news, because after the news, I got a few things I want to share some thoughts about. Think. And then we're going to jump into our first look at Origin's first builders from Board and Dice. Arriving in the third quarter is an interesting looking science fiction board game. Here's a scoop on Solar Sphere from newcomers Dranda Games. The human race has exhausted all the energy available on planet Earth. I'm exhausted. If they are to advance into an intergalactic civilization, they must harness the power of a solar system. Yes. They must build a Dyson sphere. Solar Sphere is a dice placement / manipulation game with elements of engine building, resource management, and set collection. Set hundreds of years in the future in hold on, see that? My teleprompter's not working as well as it should be. Let's see if I can make an adjustment here. Said hundreds of years in the future, in a time when competition will move mankind forward, but when collaboration is also sometimes necessary. In Solar Sphere, each player commands a mothership. Their primary task is to build a Dyson sphere. But with crew to hire and aliens attacking the sphere, damn you, aliens! There are many other ways to earn prestige and become the savior of mankind. In this dice placement game, players can manipulate their dice using drones. However, players have a limited supply of drones, which are also used to upgrade dice placement spots or to support in fights against aliens. Players can always recycle used drones to get them back into their supply or spend them for instant benefits. Players will simultaneously start the turn by rolling their dice. Dice act as spacecraft and are sent in player order to locations to gather resources, build the Dyson sphere, and or build or recycle drones. and upgrading worker spots, hiring crew, and fighting off aliens. Crew come with their own unique benefits that will help players in a variety of areas. Chain crew abilities together to build a good engine and retire them for extra benefits, making space for new crew members. As the game progresses, more aliens will arrive to defend a sun that they also need. Fight them off alone or join forces with other players and share the rewards. However, if no one takes on the rebellious aliens, then you'll all lose points. Solar Sphere combines a combination. That's kind of funny. Combines a combination. Shouldn't it just be Solar Sphere is a combination of mechanisms with a powerful theme to bring players an immersive experience? I got to say, this does look pretty interesting. I like the art style. Art style looks pretty nice. Solar Sphere is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up. Plays around 60 to 90 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $45 when it hits stores this summer. I got a soft spot for Dyson spheres. I just do. I think the concept of a Dyson sphere is very cool. I play Stellaris, and I usually try to build one when I'm playing Stellaris. I don't know why. I mean, there's plenty of other things I could be trying to build too, but like Ring Worlds. Anyway, once again, Solar Sphere is coming this summer. It'll carry an MSRP of $45. Currently up on Kickstarter for indie boards and cards is Astronauts. Here's what I know. Astronauts is a cooperative deck building game where your deck is never shuffled. Your goal is to defeat the boss before it destroys your team or the home world you're defending. Each round, the players and the boss will take turns in a random order. During a player's turn, they'll be able to acquire fuel, tech, and weapons from the supply, equip and attack with those weapons based on the number of slots they have, gain new slots, power up, and use their special ability. All 4 of the bosses in this game have their own decks and abilities and will require a different strategy to be defeated. There is a short Kickstarter video from Indie Boards and Cards, so let's take a quick peek.
Our home world is under fire. If we have any hope of survival, the Astronauts must band together. Astronauts is a cooperative deck building game where your deck is never shuffled. Defeat the boss before it destroys your team or your home world. Each round, players and the boss take turns in a random order. During a player's turn, they can acquire fuel, tech, and weapons from the supply. Equip your weapons, and when the time is right, power up your knight's unique special ability. All 4 of the bosses in this game will require a different strategy to be defeated. Heroes, knights, you must work together to defeat the threat and to save our world. Will you do your duty, or will you ignore the call when you're needed the most? Get into the fight and save our universe.
The Kickstarter project for Astronauts is just under 500% of its funding. The game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, plays in around 45 minutes. You can reserve a copy of the core game for a $39 pledge through February 25th with an expected delivery this October. Yes, Indie Boards and Cards. This kind of has a little bit of an Eon's End sort of vibe to it. A little bit. Maybe must be because of those dials that they were showing. Because that, to me, that kind of reminds me of that as well. But Eon's End is actually a pretty cool deck building game. So this might be pretty interesting. Let's move on to some role-playing game news, because there's currently a bundle of holding that features the end-all be-all role-playing system from Greg Porter. And here's the details on the deal. Adventure. We've resurrected our April 2019 EABA, EABA bundle featuring the universal tabletop role-playing rule system, End All Be All. Designed by Greg Porter, EABA represents the simulationist school of RPG design, which aims for accurate, fine-grained modeling of a campaign universe that operates sensibly. With EABA's scaling rules, you can build anything from a zip gun to a battleship and run any kind of conflict from a schoolyard fight to a superhero slugfest. The state-of-the-art interactive PDFs in this bargain-priced collection range from steampunk to space opera, all using the same coherent, deeply thought-out system. For just $5.95, you get all 4 titles in this revived offers starter collection with a retail value of $52 as DRM-free ebooks PDFs, including the complete EABA version 2.01 core rulebook, the Steampunk Martian Dinosaur Extravaganza Vern, and the beautiful Vern map set, and new in this revival, the Conspiracy Campaign setting Core 3.0, or it could be Corpse. I think it's Core. I think Core's 3.0. If you pay more than the threshold price of $17.40, you'll level up and also get this revival's entire bonus collection with 5 more titles worth an additional $78. There's stuff! A comprehensive equipment construction set that lets you build anything from a penknife to an orbital bombardment platform that bombards the Earth with penknives. No, last part's just me. New in this revival, Interregnum, a merciless campaign of resistance heroes fighting to the bitter end against an enemy that has already won. Agency, modern magical intrigue in a campaign where only you are real and everyone else is just scenery. It includes the 1957 companion game that puts you at the heart of the setting's early history. And then there is Eschatron, realistic superheroics in the wake of a sudden event that bestows superpowers on hundreds of thousands of people worldwide. A la Wildcards, except in Wildcards, it's not hundreds of thousands of people, but there are thousands. These savings run through February 23rd, and 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to this EABA Revival's pandemic-related charity, Direct Relief. Yes, I would say for the $5.95 to get on board that Jules Verne setting, it's kind of like a Victorian cyberpunk with dinosaurs and stuff. Might be worth the price of admission just with that. Gotta say, gotta check that out. Omanal has joined us in chat, wondering how fast COVID would take out the Martians. Yeah, because in the novel, I don't think they ever say exactly what virus or bacteria or whatever takes them out. But in the films, it's usually the common cold, isn't it? Isn't it the common cold that actually bumps them off? I could have swore. On to our next news piece. Tome of Beasts Volume 3 for 5th edition is up on Kickstarter. Here's the skinny from Kobold Press. The Tome of Beasts 3 will bring 400 new monsters to 5th edition, from Ghost Knight Templars to Riptide Drakes, as well as foul new fiends, challenging aberrations, and so much more. Not to mention, all Tome of Beasts 3 Kickstarter backers at the $29 level and up can submit an original monster design for possible publication. In addition to the Tome of Beasts 3 hardcover and PDFs, This Kickstarter will fund the creation of 16 or more beautiful monster minis, 4 virtual tabletop editions for digital play, an exclusive engraved 7 dice set, and a ready-to-play Tome of Beasts 3 layers hardcover of fast, furious encounters and short adventures. So you can get these beasts on the table to play fast. The monsters from the Tome of Beasts 3 cover the gamut from trash mobs to major villains, and each has been carefully designed, tested, edited, and illustrated to make an immediate, terrifying impact on your next 5e tabletop game. Of course, Kobold Press has a short Kickstarter video giving you a closer look at some of these beasts in Tome of Beasts 3.
Want to hear your players say, "Oh my God, what is that thing?" Kobold Press is here to help with creatures that shock and horrify. Stump your group with the Ghost Knight Templar, the Torch Mimic, the Vapor Drake, the Tumor Troll, the Tar Golem, or even a monster you design. Find all these and more in the Tome of Beasts 3. This hardcover, full-color book provides your campaign with towering giants, blood-curdling demons, and things so hideous they should not exist. More than 400 all-new adversaries, fully play-tested and ready for your next game session. And that's only the beginning. Transform your battle map with unique custom miniatures. Prepare that unexpected side quest in minutes with Tome of Beasts 3's Book of Lairs, a collection of one-shot encounters using creatures from the Tome of Beasts 3. Rule your gaming table with gorgeous Tome of Beasts dice, and submit a monster for possible publication in Tome of Beasts 3. Set aside the old tomes and terrify your know-it-alls. Back Tome of Beasts 3 on Kickstarter today.
The project to bring Tome of Beasts 3 to the masses is well past the 1,000% funding mark, and you can reserve a copy of the book in hardcover with PDF for a $59 pledge, or score the book in PDF alone for a $29 pledge through February 23rd. Keeping in mind, there are plenty of other things going on in this Kickstarter as well, including those miniatures, the dice, and Tome of Beasts 3 layers, which includes 18 adventures. So, by all means, check those out as well. Expected delivery for physical and digital copies is this November. People love bestiaries. They always dig bestiaries. Spellbooks, bestiaries, player-facing materials always seem to do really well for role-playing game companies. And Kobold Press puts out some cool stuff. I've got my review of Empire of Ghouls coming very, very shortly. Pretty interesting Underdark adventure there. I'll be talking about that in some depth. But we're talking here about the Tome of Beasts 3. So don't miss out. The project runs on Kickstarter through February 23rd. Got a lot of stuff going on with the 23rd for some reason. Callahan Klatt has joined us in chat. Good to see you back, Callahan. Let's wrap up the news, because now available from Onyx Path Publishing is They Came from Camp Murder Lake. Here's the skinny. You run as fast as you can, but he'll be right behind you wherever you go, whenever you look over your shoulder. You can hide under the bed, and it might be the last place she checks, but I promise she'll check. You can riddle their body with bullets, gouge at their flesh with blades, run over them with your car, but they'll be lurching back to life as soon as you're out of shot. The creatures, the entities, the killers, the slashers from Camp Murder Lake and elsewhere will never stop their spree. But maybe, just maybe, you might be the sole survivor at the end of the movie. They Came From Camp Murder Lake is a source book for players and directors wanting to embrace the thrills and horrors of the 1970s and 1980s slasher movie genre, when arguably it was at its peak, if you want to say that, I guess. So, this game presents everything you need to play as a terrifying horror movie in the style of Halloween, Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and every other favorite of the slasher set. They Came From Camp Murder Lake uses the story path system, which you can find in the pages of They Came From Beyond the Grave. They Came From Camp Murder Lake includes 5 new playable archetypes and a multitude of new origins and ambitions, new cinematics, quips, stunts, and a new mechanic, the twist. A panoply of dread-inducing slashers, including cannibals, dreamstalkers, evil children, killer clowns, homicidal hitchhikers, chameleonic stepfathers, and many, many more. All the guidance a director needs for running games filled with suspense and scares, including variant styles of gameplay beyond the expected slasher movie arcs, and a thorough presentation of potential settings. There's a full scenario you can run straight from the pages of this book. Get murdering. The 160-page PDF of They Came From Camp Murder Lake is available right now over at Drive-Thru RPG for $19.99. So Sammy really likes this story path system. In fact, she's going to be reviewing, I think it's They Came From Beyond the Grave, if I remember correctly. It's not They Came From Outer Space. And I got to be honest, I don't know what the difference is between the storyteller system, which is like World of Darkness, and the story path system. I don't know. I have no clue. Do want to mention, though, this is a supplement. This is not standalone. So you really do need to have, I don't know if you've got to have They Came From Beyond the Grave, particularly. It's possible you could use They Came From Beneath the Sea, which is the first of the story path system games that came out, I think. I don't know. Could be a lot of fun. Like I said, Sammy really has given high marks to the Onyx Path They Came From series so far. Bruno Azevedo has joined us once again. Good to see you, Bruno. So they're catching us live after finishing watching the last episode of Critical Role. I assume last for the season. I guess we'll talk about that a little bit too, because not Critical Role, but we'll talk the Matt Mercer Effect, because that's something that's been on a lot of people's minds, at least on Twitter. So I guess it's just people on Twitter, probably not normal people. So let's see. Russell Higgins says, I'm suspending belief on this. No one, I mean absolutely no one, names a lake Murder. And then no one names a camp for Camp Murder Lake. Yeah, I know. I thought that was kind of odd too. Badman says they always have Halloween slasher themed and Christmas themed adventures for his groups. And they always go over very well. Yeah, Goodman Games tends to like to do holiday themed adventures. In fact, they just released the Valentine's Day themed adventure I talked about last week. Callahan says they can believe naming something Murder Lake because they have a hill in their hometown that is legitimately named Killer Hill. Omenel says there's a scale issue with StoryPath where you compare the scales to determine effects. Okay. Nice. Madman says their Christmas Savage Worlds one-shot was a hit. Use the Bass and Rankin, Frosty the Snowman, isn't it Rankin and Bass? As the foundation, evil magician with evil snowmen. Hopefully you didn't fill it with songs like The Hobbit that Rankin and Bass did. Oh my gosh. Ah, awful. Just awful. They were just jumping on, they figured, well, we're not gonna get to see, oh gosh, now I can't remember his name. He did Wizards. He did Fritz the Cat, Ralph Bakshi. I was gonna say he did American Pop, which is actually kind of cool. I know some people hate American Pop. Personally, I think it's a pretty cool animated film. Anyway. So Rankin and Bass knew that he wasn't going to be able to finish Lord of the Rings, so they did The Hobbit, and then they also did Return of the King. I gotta say, they were both pretty awful. So Homedal says, "Hey, songs were in the book." Yeah, I know. More so in Lord of the Rings. It's been a long time since I read me some Tolkien. But I seem to recall more of it in Lord of the Rings than in Hobbit. But I know there was, poetry and songs in The Hobbit as well. That's it for the news tonight. Of course, I was just talking about Drive-Thru RPG. So, of course, Gaming Gang is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So, if you are going to visit Drive-Thru RPG or DM's Guild or Storyteller's Vault, by all means, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. I know some people have asked, well, Jeff, you don't always have banner ads for the various One Bookshelf sites. But it's pretty easy. All you got to do is click on the banner ad. It's going to 99.9% of the time, it's a Drive-Thru RPG banner. All you got to do, look to the left side, scroll down a little bit. It shows all the other One Bookshelf sites. Click on that. It'll take you to that site. But the affiliate code will still work if you do it that way. Cold button grenades for evil Frosty, says the madman. I'll ask, did Bakshi do Fire and Ice? I think he did. You know what? I think he's still around, if I remember correctly. In fact, I thought it wasn't long ago he was actually looking for volunteers to help him with some animated film. I know Wizards is a fun movie too. Always liked it. Wizards has a very early 70s vibe to it. That's for certain. Mr. Eddie T has popped on in. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody as well. I'll jump on Mr. Eddie T's wagon there for a second. I wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day to open up, but most of you probably weren't watching at that point in time. So I have to assume Sarah D is watching as well. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody. So before we jump into the first look at Origins, first builders from Board and Dice, few things I wanted to talk about. First of all, I got my Gen Con hotel room yesterday. So on my badge, I had 1:44 was my time to log in, 1:44 Eastern. So, of course, I'm in the Chicago area, so it's 12:44 here. And I thought, oh, it's not too bad because the housing portal opens at noon Eastern. Should be all right. Should be okay. It's like an hour and 44 minutes. There should still be rooms downtown off the Skyway, or Skywalk, I guess we'll say. But I was really hoping to get a room once again at the Crown Plaza, which is right across the street. Really, really liked that hotel when I stayed there last year for the first time. And then, so I go, it's like 12:30 my time. So it's 1:30 Eastern. And I take a peek and I see that it shows I still have like an hour and 14 minutes to wait. And I'm like, what's going on? And now I have gotten on the websites where it shows like a countdown timer and it's wrong. And then the actual real time comes along and it might be off by an hour and you actually get in, right? So I thought, well, what the hell? I'm going to check because I put in for a badge for my nephew, Cameron. So I took a peek and I'll be damned if he didn't get 12:44 Eastern. I was like, what? Should have looked. I should have looked ahead of time, but not thinking. I figured, oh, yeah, of course, I'll have the earlier time because for one, I had, of course, been approved first for the pass. I was approved for my pass, I don't know, like an hour and a half, and it took a couple of days for his to get approved. So I thought, oh yeah, obviously mine's gonna be earlier. Anyway, I get in there and there's nothing closer than 5 blocks away from the convention center. I was like, oh, that sucks. So I was gonna book a room at, I think it was a Sheraton. And by the time I filled out the info to submit it, it was already sold out again. So I'm actually booked at the Town Place Suites, which is right over by Lucas Oil Stadium, which is right next to the convention center. It's about 6-block walk thereabouts. But unfortunately, like the restaurants and everything are mainly on the other side. So it's like, damn. But it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's a suite. So it's actually like I guess it's for like more like an extended stay kind of thing. But it's a Marriott property. So it should be kind of cool. All right. So anyway, there were a couple of things I really wanted to talk about. I'm not going to talk about too much. But on Twitter, I for like 3-4 days, this whole thing about Wizards of the Coast and NFTs, which we talked about before. So it was like, we were talking about what a scam they are and how, you got to be a real sucker to be buying. So Omenal asked, sweet with kitchen? Yes. Looks like there's like a 2-burner stove. So Bruno says, walking is good. I know walking is great. Only problem is when you're trying to walk 6 blocks with a bunch of review copies of stuff, then that's a problem. Because if you remember, Kobold Press last year gave me like 50 pounds of stuff. And they actually had one of the people who was helping out at the exhibit area carry it over to the room. So, well, they carried it over my car, which was parked next door to the Crown Plaza. But yes, I know walking's good when it's not cold and snowing and crap like that. I go out walking. So the Madman says they know that area of Indy pretty well. Yeah, I've gotten to know that area too. I think the closest restaurant to us is going to be the White Castle. And I believe there's also a deli. It's supposed to be a legitimately Jewish deli that is supposed to be right over there as well. So kind of cool. Kind of cool. Bruno says they saw people on Reddit being mad at Chaosium because of NFTs as well. So here's what I don't get. Okay, so, and I said this on Twitter. I tweeted this. And that was, Sarah says, get a cart you can fold up and take with. I do have a cart. It's just a pain to drag around that cart. Because I use a cart when I bring auction stuff. And fingers crossed that there's an auction this year. So all these people are all upset that, Wizards of the Coast is discussing producing NFTs. And people are saying, well, if they do that, then I'm done. I'm done with Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not going to buy anything from Wizards of the Coast ever again. Now, of course, Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering has kind of been a loot box premise long before there were loot boxes. Blind draw, booster packs, starter decks. Some cards were valueless. Some cards were worth, well, back when I got into it, when it was still beta, thousands of dollars. But even back then, I have no idea what the value of Magic cards are now. And Hasbro's already sold NFTs. Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast. So I don't know why these people are all freaking out, because it's nothing new. It's absolutely nothing new. And I say it all the time, maybe not on the show, but I say it to people I know. I'm so tired of this couch-bound activism bullshit. Oh, I refuse to buy this, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. How about getting off your ass, going and doing something? Do something about it. But these are the same people who swore up and down. They had their Fire Mike Merle's hashtags, and I'm leaving. I'm never playing Dungeons and Dragons again because you promised Mike Merle's wasn't going to work on D&D, and he's working on D&D, and blah, 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 blah. And they said, oh, I'm going to leave. I'm never going to play again. Never buying anything. I'll tell you what. The vast majority of those people did not leave. We know that. So it was all just, once again, that couch-bound Activision. Jeez. English, Jeff. How about, speaking English? Activision. You mean the game? So you're sitting on the couch playing with your Activision game, right? Activism. I'm actually catching comments in chat out of the corner of my eye. So if people didn't leave Wizards of the Coast over the Mike Merle's fiasco, they are not leaving over NFTs. And they can complain about it all they want. They can cry about it all they want. It's going to happen. It's happening. There's no getting around it. And unless you're an idiot, don't waste your money. All I got to say. Anyway, but yeah, I love these people just all getting all, oh, I'm furious. Yeah, you're Twitter furious, which means not a big deal. Doesn't really matter. All right, Coco B has joined us in chat. Good to see you. So, Sarah D, I already said, well, I didn't really say hello, but I responded to a comment. So, hello, Sarah. Good to see you as well. Who else? Anybody else I missed? I think we're okay. Someone else says NFTs will be used to launder money, just like real art. That doesn't shock me. There you go. Clint says slack. Yeah, they're slacktivists. Yes, there you go. Slacktivism. So Omanal says, when did couch activists have money to buy anything? Uh-huh. So Bruno says, I don't think I'll ever buy anything because of NFT. Just hope it doesn't negatively affect other products. I don't see NFTs having much. I don't see it having legs. I really don't. Maybe a couple of years, year or two, maybe. And that's just, just off the top of my head, I'm probably absolutely wrong. and could become a millionaire if I actually put my head to it. But yeah. So the other thing also on Twitter is people complaining about the Matt Mercer effect and how players at their game tables all expect that their role-playing game session is going to be like Critical Role. So we talked about this a little bit in the past. And yes, one of the things that I've said about Critical Role, and I don't watch it, so I really don't watch any actual play videos of any sort. But yes, I've said that, you know, it creates an unrealistic expectation at the game table, but not to the effect of, like, for one, and I said this on Twitter today, focus more on being a good game master. Because if everybody at your table has a great time, the only person's effect they're going to talk about is yours. They're not going to be sitting there going, well, you know, that wasn't like Critical Role. I know the Madman had commented on Twitter in response to my tweet. And it's like, Matt Mercer's never been at my table. Yeah, I get it. I'm right with you. It's completely asinine. And I can see some people's points are, well, you know, all these, I'm a game master and these people want me to be Matt Mercer. I guarantee those gamers at the table aren't doing their best to be great at the game either. So, once again, ridiculous people complaining about nonsense. It's like, rather than bitching about Matt Mercer and Critical Role, how about putting a little more effort into your own role-playing games? And then your players will not be sitting there going, well, that wasn't like Critical Role. I got to be honest. I mean, who out there thinks that's Dungeons and Dragons? Are they the same people who think wrestling is real? Must be. I don't know. Omanal says they watched season 1, but that was enough. Still, people forget you have professional players that make it entertaining. Yes, and we've talked about it before. It's not like they're not in the know of what's going on in that episode, right? And it's fine. I mean, it's like reality TV. Do you honestly think that stuff's really going on Survivor, Big Brother, or whatever? Flaming Heron says, speaking of Critical Role, did you see that hit piece from the Kotaku writer? I forget how you pronounce that site. All based on their success, that they weren't representative of a diverse range of cultures. Jeez. Madman says they watched Critical Role once, weren't interested enough to continue. They also don't have 4 hours to dedicate to every session. I was waiting for it. Russell has chimed in. Holy crap, wrestling isn't real? I knew somebody would jump on that. I knew somebody would be jumping onto that. Took a little longer than I thought. Bruno says they like Critical Role. They find it to be quite fun. I've said it before. I don't knock it. Like I said, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched any of it. I've never watched an episode. I mean, I've seen stuff with Matt Mercer, but I've never watched an episode of Critical Role. I've considered checking out that animated Critical Role. I heard it's pretty good. But that's different. That's actually a story as opposed to watching people playing a story. But yeah, I don't knock people for enjoying that. As long as nobody gets hurt, nobody's feelings get hurt, nobody gets poked in the eye with a sharp stick. I don't believe in wrong fun. Yeah, you want to sit around the game table and be like really creepy to each other and stuff. That's you know, it's all good. Don't bring it to my table. That's all I gotta say. Madman says they refer to reality TV as unreality TV because it's exactly not reality. Yeah, none of it is. Amazing Race. any of those shows. Doesn't matter if we're talking major networks, cable, MTV, and the real world when they used to do that kind of stuff. All bogus. All right. So just was just sharing my thoughts about those things that are kind of in the Twitterverse going on. So we're going to dive into Origin's first builders in just a second. But first, a short intermission.
Candy is delicious food, eat some every day. Oh, we ride in the rodeo, roping steers and busting broncos, and we haven't had a bite to eat since dawn. We are hungry and we're dragging, but here comes the old chuck wagon with the fiddles that we long for. Bring her on!
Now I'm the U.S. Marshal. To soft drinks I am partial.
And this popcorn's good.
My gosh, I say it be. We like 'em, lick 'em, ice cream, and this ice cream, very nice cream.
You buy 'em.
And you try 'em.
And you see! Now it's time for intermission, so let's all hit the trail and gather round the sweet bar where these goodies are on sale.
I know you guys are going to get so tired of these goofy little intermission clips. So back to the hit piece on Critical Role. I guess according to Flaming Huron, says the author was upset because she was from one of the cultures not being represented, and she feels she's deserving of their success. Yeah, I think that's a lot of it too. A lot of these people, and you see it, hate to say it, you also see it in tabletop gaming coverage. People are jealous of the success that Tom and the Dice Tower has had, and a lot of other people out there covering the hobby too. And they get all salty about it. I don't know. I don't sit there and decry someone else's success. It's just, to me, it's just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time and energy, in my opinion. But, I guess, once again, somebody writing an article, especially for a website that is popular, also clickbaity. That's something else that's starting to bug me. See, all these websites that have absolutely nothing to do with board games and role-playing games, and suddenly now every day they've got to have some real clickbaity Dungeons and Dragons article or board game article, and it's like, best board games for 2 players. And it'll be like Settlers of Catan. Yeah, okay. So, seeing a lot of that. Manal says role-playing to them is getting friends together. Check. Playing a game. Check. Discussing the story, which I do not do. Of course, got to remember, I run mainly Call of Cthulhu. So if somebody misses something goes wrong, I'm not telling them what was going on. That's it. What happened in the game, that's it. And then good food, because they had full meals. We always broke for dinner or lunch, or sometimes lunch and dinner and a 2 a.m. snack. All right. Some people are saying, no, they're never going to tire those intermission clips. Cool. Okay, so tonight I'm going to take a first look at Origin's first builders from Board and Dice. I apologize. I'm going to just completely butcher these names. So, sorry. Game is designed by Adam Klapinski with art provided by Zygmunt Umgilter and Alexander Zawada. Yeah, that's terrible. just nowhere close on any of those three. Origin First Builders is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, plays in 1 to 2 hours, and carries an MSRP of $70. I believe it is available right now. Someone else says barbecue, fajitas, cobbler, etc. Jeez, wow. We'd usually go out for Italian beef sandwiches and fries, mozzarella sticks. Of course, we would eat those on the drive home because it was like a half hour away where we went for our 2 a.m. Toots runs. Yes, it was a place called Toots, which I think is gone. I think it is long gone. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Origins First Builders. Let's flip this on over. What if? What if the wildest stories of humanity's first steps were true? What if it was a mighty and benevolent spacefaring civilization that gave us the push to start on a road to greatness? What do you mean? What do you mean, if? It's obviously true. The Illuminati, all of that, it's all true. What if it was our drive to excel and improve, aided with arcane and alien knowledge that truly forged our history and culture? What if you could be part of these grand events? Become the leader of a city-state at the dawn of humanity. Consult the alien benefactors to grow your population. Expand your city with unique buildings. Climb the steps of great zodiac temples and become the greatest leader in history. It's a little bit more, but we will dive right on in. So I guess everybody's sharing the foods that they have or have had while playing role-playing games. Sweet. Sounds like everybody's having like really good meals. Like usually be like, yeah, somebody brought a bag of Doritos. It's like, okay, don't touch anything. All right, let's jump on in. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. We got looks like these are discs, possibly. Oh, it's for 4 players, so it's not for each of the players. Looks like these are probably our player markers. We're going to take a closer look at a lot of this stuff. Whole bunch of dice, because this is a worker placement game, and I think those workers are your dice. So we have these different, oh, these almost look like stands of some sort. Got discs. These are in the player colors. And these are in some other colors here. A bunch of baggies, no doubt for our tokens and such. Regular 6-sided dice. A small deck of Euro-sized cards here. And the rule book. Let's take a look at the rule book. They came to this planet and they chose you. They uplifted your people and promised great prosperity. They provided the wisdom and the resources to build your cities sky high. They taught you the ways of culture, science, and warfare. They promised knowledge for any willing to learn. Come, Archon, build your citizens to victory. I'm sorry, guide. Where did I get build from? Guide your citizens to victory under the watchful eyes of the builders. Are benefactors from beyond the skies above. Russell Higgins says Dorito juice is how they doctor their dice. I get it. I see it. Take some of that dust from the Doritos and rub it on like one of the sides of the die so that the weight of the die is off. I see how Russell operates. So here's our components. So we have different building tiles, palace tiles, agora tiles, district cards, zodiac cards. We've got some player aids. So we've got color coding explanations. So blue notes are for rules and special notes of exceptionally high importance, which may otherwise be overlooked. Gray is explanations, and purple are examples. So here's a setup. So these are motherships. That's what those plastic things were, those plastic discs. The man says They chose me? Big mistake. Yeah, they chose me to be a problem too. All right, so breaking down how to set up. This is a board and dice game, so we know that there's going to be like a lot of stuff going on. So it's not going to be some lightweight game here with just, a couple of pages of rules. Key concepts. So we have basic resources and gold. Expanding your city. So you're expanding your city with these building tiles. The military track. So yeah, so you're as far as I understand, you're trying to improve your civilization in a variety of different kind of ways. And the military is one of them. But I don't think you're actually going to fight each other. So here's zodiac tiles, or I should say zodiac cards and temples. Talking about playing the game. Player actions. On your turn, you must perform one of the following actions. Visit an encounter site. Close a district. Build a tower level. Grow your population, or pass. All right, so giving us some examples here. Oh, I guess you do attack. Okay. I guess maybe you are attacking the other players. Talking about adding buildings to your city. It's like you're just going to connect the tiles together. They're hexagonal. Closing a district. I wonder if maybe that's how you score points for that district. So Omnal says they bought homemade cinnamon ice cream. Oh, sorry, cinnamon mint ice cream one time. And that was served at a gaming session. Sweet. So Madman says their Savage Worlds group is himself, his friend's daughter, and his friend's daughter's friends. And they don't make a lot in their job, so Madman and his friend provide all the food. Yeah, normally that's... If there's going to be food at a gaming session, I just pick it up. Because it's usually, it's usually the kids. I mean, sometimes, if Elliot's there, my best friend Elliot, he kicks in, or sometimes he pays. But yeah, my niece and nephew and their friends, I don't hit them up for cash. All right, so we get into an appendix. Got some talking about the building tiles, main board actions, and our credits. So there we go. Robert Haight has joined us in chat. I think this might be a first-time visit for Robert. Welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us. Callahan says they fondly remember their old gaming group back when they were right out of high school. They were all a bunch of broke college kids. Yeah, I know that feeling. And they'd be digging in cushions for loose change for that pizza order. Yes. All right, so there's the rule book. We also have the game board, and I think this game board is probably pretty decent size. I think we'll save that after we take a look at the various different tiles that we've got here, because looks like we've got quite a few punch boards. So here are the building tiles. Try to get a little better look here. All right, Sony, focus, Sony. Here we go. Got quite a few that are, well, it looks like we have 3. It kind of looks like we've got 3 of each. I would assume we'll probably have some that are going to be maybe 1 or 2. But it kind of looks like you can't, all 4 players can't build, everything. So someone else says bonding through starvation with their game group. So we've got a couple of castles. We've got a couple of estates, construction sites, court of law. There's 4 of those. Stone circles, forums, sea temple, veteran settlement, outposts. So these must be military. These, I'm going to take a guess, these are ocean tiles or like dock areas. These are civics, is my guess. Maybe. I don't know. Castle, estate, that wouldn't be civics. So it looks like we've got farms on the back of all of these. At least the ones we've seen so far. Cool. So we got astronomy tower, artist parlor. What the hell is that? Healer's mansion. Mage's tower. Gate of passage. Fountain of wisdom. Yes, I obviously have not drank from that. Statues. Mountain temple. Obelisks. Different kinds of obelisks, if you notice. That's kind of cool. Farms once again. So we have some, look like these are the player boards here. And I would take a guess you might be using those plastic like holders that we saw on here, because we had them in each of the player colors. So here we've got this player, and we also have this player. Flip those over. So these are dual-sided. So we have palaces. We've got some of the aggro tiles, as well as this player's board and that player's board. And we also have some more tokens here. So Board and Dice actually sent me, I don't have it right here with me. They sent me a little, it's almost kind of like maybe about a quarter sheet with more tokens like this. All right, so we've got all of these punch boards. What, we got 5? Yes, we have, no, 6. 6 punch boards. And 4 of them are the buildings. In fact, there's some building tiles as well on the others, like the palace and the aggro tiles. Okay, so here we've got our cards. And as we saw, there's a few different kinds of cards. We've got like zodiac cards, which looks like that's what we've got right here. So the Madman said they like the artwork on the tiles. Yeah, the tile artwork looked pretty cool. So these are the zodiac. So we have Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. So I think these are for the temples, which give us like special action. So as an example, here it says Leo. Every time you close a district, add 2 to its seat of power die up to a maximum of 6. Got Virgo, Libra. Here we go. Scorpio, that's me. Every time you close a district or have to add 1, to a value 6 citizen die, gain 1 wisdom. All right. So we got those. Then we got these dice. Or not dice, these cards. I was looking at the pile of dice over there. So these are all different. No clue what they mean. None whatsoever. Now, we already saw these look like kind of districts here, or different, certain types of buildings are color coded. So like the castle the Court of Law, that was the orange. So I'm kind of curious if, like, to build a building, you have to play a card that's going to match that. I don't know. But as you can see, all different values down here as well. Just kind of taking a peek through. All right. And then we have 4 little player aid cards. So we have on your turn, once again, you can visit an encounter site, close a district, build a tower level, grow population, or pass. And I guess if you're passing, you drop that in front of you, would be my guess. So we've got 4 of those. So last, let's take a peek at the game board. Like I said, game board looks pretty good size here. Oh, maybe not that huge. So the board has these areas punched out. So I think this is where we put those the motherships, because we got 5 spots, and I could have swore we saw 5 motherships. So it looks like we've got a victory point track running around the board. So like we put some cards down in here. This, I believe, is our military track here. Almost looks like it's an arena with some bodies laying there, some animals. Got this area here. And then this area over here. So that is the game board. Let's take a closer look. Let's take a look at these motherships. Everything else is just wooden discs and, you know, colored dice. So we'll take a look at the archons, which I guess represent, you know, your civilization. Looks like we've got, it's all the same miniature. So I'll give you a closer look here. See if, well, let's see how, can't get too close. Whoops, where am I going? Because there's a minimum focal range here. That looks like that's it's looking good there. Madman asks, how's the quality of the tiles, the cards, etc.? So the tiles are pretty thick. So I can tell you right now that, here, I'll show you. Give you an idea. Thickness of them. So it's pretty good. So not super thin or anything like that. The cards, once again, with Euro size cards, they tend to be a little flimsier, but these feel like they should hold up okay. Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty good. All right, so this is the mothership. As you can see, we have dice faces on here as well. So we got like a 5, the 6. So I'm guessing, because this also has a little spot that's sticking out, I'm guessing you're probably going to lay it like this and have the specific die face facing the arrow here. It's going to be my guess. So you're going to punch out these little spots there in the board to be able to put those motherships on. Nice. All right, so we've got the punch boards, we got the game board. I'm going to put the cards in a baggie here so they don't fly all over the place. We got our motherships. We have, like I said, I believe that these are going to be placed on the player board. They almost have like a little level to them. So I'm not sure if they would lay in like this and then something holds in there. I don't know. We'll find out. We've got the 4 Archon minis, a whole slew of dice and discs and regular dice, and more of these for the players as well. And of course, we also have the rule book. And that's what we find when we take everything from Origin's first builders outside the box. I will hopefully get this to the table at some point in the near future and check this out. There's also a solitaire mode that I do see, and maybe I'll try to check it out that way as well. So this looks very interesting. It looks different. It really does. The Man said they always like when companies include bags to hold the various contents. I know, because it's really not, as I forget to put the bags back into the box here. It's not that big a deal to include them. That's why GMT, I'd say 95% of the time, includes plenty of little baggies for the counters and everything else. All right, swinging on over to the other camera. That is Origin's first builders for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. Plays in 1 to 2 hours. Does carry an MSRP of $70. It is from Board and Dice. Sweet. Very, very cool. So if you're curious what's going on the rest of this week, on tomorrow's show, we're going to take a first look at 2 adventures for Old School Essentials. First off, we're going to take a look at Hideous Daylight. This is written by Brad Kerr. It is from Sword Lords Publishing. I believe this adventure is for levels 2 and up. And then also from Brad Kerr and Sword Lords Publishing is Temple of 1,000 Swords. So we're going to take a look at these. So Brad Kerr was kind enough to send both of these along. And they're relatively short. They look like 25, 30 pages. So we're going to dive into both of these on tomorrow's show. Sweet. Then on Wednesday's show, we're going to dive into the Starfighter Alien Archive 1 and 2 battle cards. So this is arriving very shortly from Paizo Inc. So this will be on Wednesday's show. So we'll dive in. We'll take a peek at some of the various different cards. I thought the battle cards for Pathfinder were pretty cool. So we're going to check these out. All right. So that is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. Will not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. Also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my first look at the core rulebook for the One Ring 2nd edition from Free League Publishing. Yes, this went live Saturday, I think. I want to say that it went live on Saturday. So check it out if you're curious what the core rulebook looks like. Jump on in. All right, those of you who watched live, thank you very much. I always appreciate people taking time out of their busy lives to give the show a watch, especially on Valentine's Day. I thought for sure chat was going to be dead, but it wasn't. Sweet. Of course, if you took part in chat, hey, that's bonus round for you. Those are extra experience points for sure. But of course, I know everybody doesn't have an opportunity to watch the stream live. So however you watch any of the videos on the Gaming Gang channel. It doesn't matter if it's live on Memorex. However, I really do appreciate that. Thank you so very, very much. Of course, I will be back tomorrow. We're going to take a look at these two adventures. And here's also hoping that each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. See you tomorrow. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. Check out the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching.